This is Gangrel, the Vampire Warrior. You're fanging and banging and watching the Nation's Network. That's right. Want some, get some, bad enough, take some. Again, you're fanging and banging and you're watching the Nation Network.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Nation Network. I'm your host, Vince McSham, and I know it's been over a week and a half now. I've just been really demotivated over that period of time. So, that said, today, boy, oh boy, I said it's going to take a lot to get me to want to go on stream today, but then they did it again. 2K, you motherfuckers. First off, hello to everybody that's out there. DHW's in the house. Dustin the Grim is here. J-Rocks, my man, is here. Neil Hooper in the house as well. Core Dream Studios, how you doing? And of course, the one, the only, Blazed Radio. This, I'm going to just presume everybody knows, so let me jump ahead in case that's not the case. The newest patch came out for this fiasco that is 2K23. Have they addressed any of the issues that we've talked about for, well, I don't know, 8-9 months now, so far as things wrong with universe mode and a whole slew of things that have never been touched upon? And the answer is no. What did they do? Nothing, really. They brought in some more pay content, so My Factions gets the boost, even though every poll I've ever seen done, including the ones that I've done, have shown that less than 15% of the people play that mode. So no matter what you do, no one's going to buy into that mode, 2K. Nobody cares about it. Nobody likes it. No one's going to play it. If next year's game is only My Factions, they won't play it. Nobody wants your shit game. Understand that. Get the fucking message. We're not paying to play this game. So what do? They put in a mod protection so that people like What's the Status, who have kept this game alive, this game would have been dead and buried after 2 months if not for the creators. And what does 2K want to do? They want to stick it up their ass so that they have no game. Yeah, you can still make basic creations, but guys like, Status were going the extra mile. They were able to port in some really cool stuff, whether it's stuff like Bailey with her old entrance still intact, with music included, or whether, and I get there's some copyright things around there that might, but then why is it in the game, okay? If it shouldn't be there, it shouldn't be there. They shouldn't be able to mod it in. It's not like he put the music in the game. It's in there. The files are there. He unlocked them, and he's done that with a lot of other stuff. So that all said, I've said this before, and I will say it again. If you buy 2K24, A, you're part of the problem, and B, don't say a word about it being bad. It's going to be bad, but you have to just suck it up and enjoy it. The only way this changes is if several 100,000 people finally say F you and don't buy the game. I don't mean don't pre-order it. I mean don't buy it. Let's sit one out for a year. And the good news is this. There are alternatives. There's already alternatives. You have the whole N64 community thing with all those mods that are super cool, with a game that plays well and has all the stars that we want. Now, granted, it doesn't have a creation suite to it, but again, the way they're banging these things out, who needs it? And to say that between a WCCW, a WWF, a WCW, with all those different variations of Project 64 out there, there's enough to keep you amused for a year, I should hope. Now, that all said, there's also new games coming up. We got UPW, of course, coming up, which, by the way, next week I am going to have Sam back on here. So looking forward to that. We are also going to, I don't have concrete information, but it seems pretty safe to say that in 24, we're going to finally see a couple of these other games that have been long talked about probably coming to market as well. So I'm thinking 2 to 3 titles are upcoming. AEW, they choked, man. There's nothing there for AEW. There's no purpose in it, no point in watching it whatsoever. That game is just dead and buried. They dropped the ball big time. And considering they were a bunch of guys who were supposed to be gamers on that one, what the hell happened there? But I'm telling you right now, either we all stand up and stop paying this friggin' money for a game that's not, they're not listening to us. When they took the year off for COVID, do you remember that? And they had the questionnaire. They wanted everyone to say, what's most important to you? And Universe was second to MyGM. They've done nothing for Universe. They have put 100 times more effort into My Faction that nobody wants. Nobody. There is such a minute portion of the buying public that's actually playing My Faction. And I can't imagine they're making the kind of money from that number of people to warrant all this additional attention, patch after patch after patch, and doing nothing for the 85%. Nothing. You haven't fixed Universe mode. Still can't put tag team finishers. I'm pretty sure. I haven't tried it with this patch, but I'm going to bet the house that you still can't put a tag team finisher in Universe mode. And again, all the problems with this game today are problems that didn't exist before. It's your game that you had right on some things last year. And now this year they don't work. We tell you they don't work. All you should really have to do is go back and say, okay, what do we do wrong, different from here? Look at the freaking code. Fix it. No, we don't have time. We got to go out there and make some, more attires from the last pay-per-view so we can try and sell them. Wait and see what comes next. If you think this is it, no, 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 no. They have put a hit out on the creation market out there. These guys that do what they do for us. They're going to take all of the fun out of this game. It's not bad enough they're selling us a broke piece of shit every friggin' year. By the way, I was actually trying to edit something and the game crashed. Just for fun. Kevin Davis, I'm doing as well as can be expected, I guess, right about now. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, I'm not doing StreamYard on this one because I can't put the game up in the background. I guess I probably should have done StreamYard. I don't know why I didn't, but... Hey, Blaze is coming around. That's what I'm talking about. Now, okay, so it's mostly bad. You still looking at paying money next year? Yeah, Neil, skipping 20, that was a godsend because what a train wreck that thing turned out to be. And honestly, at this point, I kept saying I wasn't going to get it at launch, and I was going to wait and see what the reviews are. At this point, if the reviews say it's the greatest game ever for wrestling, and I mean from people, not from Stephanie McMahon and them, but I mean if the fans come out saying, oh my God, they finally got it right, and this works, and that works, and they added this, and oh my God, Universe has never been this cool before, I'm still not getting it. I'm still not getting it. I have bought pretty much every WWF, WWE game that has ever been launched for whatever console I was running at the time. Going all the way back to the NES. Still got them right over here. And that kind of leads me to the next thing, which is the future of this channel. Again, I've taken a lot of time off lately from this one. I just kind of, I think, burnt out a bit on it. And then this kind of crap, the game not doing what it's supposed to do, 2K not doing what they're supposed to do, and I was like, why am I working so hard for so little? It just didn't seem like a good trade of time for me. So, as I had mentioned months ago, that the 20-year anniversary of this channel, which just happened, I wasn't even aware of it. It popped up in my feed. And I said that's a good enough time to hang it up. So moving forward, I'll still be doing some chat and stuff, and I'm still going to be doing wrestling games. I'm not going to be focusing on 2K so much anymore. That's not to say I won't do, because it's going to be Retro Rumble. So any old game can be popping up on that. It could be 2K19, 18, 17, all the way back to SmackDown versus Raw. It could even be the NES. So look forward to Retro Rumble. That's going to be taking over soon. But so far as this ongoing storyline stuff, done, finished. Stick a fork in me, I'm done. And that's not to say I won't do something with this. I might throw a card together and have something, but I'm not going to be running a continuous story, if you know what I'm saying. No more seasons type of thing. This news today, it just made me really feel good about that decision, too. Blaze, I always, listen, I give you a hard time. I know that, but it is what it is. I mean, you're entitled to feel the way you do. I feel ripped off. I feel like there's a company that doesn't listen to its community. And for that reason, they're not getting my money anymore. That's all there is to it. There's a lot of people that are still going to buy this game no matter what. No matter. This game could have been inserted into people's consoles, causing them to burn up in flames, and people would still go out and buy another copy of the disc and then get the next year's edition. That's just the way it is. With some people, they're going to do that. WCG. He's going to stop acknowledging them. I like that. The Switch version of 2K18. I remember hearing there was a version that really crashed bad. But I never had a Switch. So, again, that was one of the ones I fortunately got to skip. Hunter Iggy. What's up? Yeah, I mean, that's part of the reason why I'm not doing it on StreamYard, because I want to show you guys some stuff here. And these are the most recent ones that I had downloaded, and that's going back a few weeks ago. And you can still, as long as they're up on community content, according to the patch notes, you can still download them. I don't know how much I trust them at this point in time. I did just play a match with one of mine that uses the 2-hair glitch, which I don't know how they do that, but that's where, the mod guys come in. And I've got about 3 or 4 different model or calls that I downloaded that took advantage of that, and it makes such a big difference. We got Kerry Von Erich that did it with, let's go through them here. Let's see, Kerry, or is it under Texas Tornado maybe? Probably. Yeah. So you look at that hair right there. That's the 2-hair glitch. It looks amazing. And then we had the Genius. Oh, it's under G or T. There he goes. Well, you can't tell with the cap on, but he's got the 2-hair glitch, and it looks really good. And then the one I was just working on before it all crashed, Barry Windham. Which I guess I have to go back and do all the fixes that I was doing a little while ago. But look at that. You don't get that with the single hair. But that looks pretty good. Now, the boots are a little wonked up there. I'm not sure what happened with that. And I was in the process of fixing them when everything went kablooey. Yeah, and honestly, Blaze, you're the only person I know that literally does it that way. I mean, if you guys don't know, Blaze does a really good job with his stuff, but he does not play the games, which is very unique. But I dare say that you're a very, very small part of their buying public. Now, if 80% of the people were doing what you're doing and just simming everything, then I guess they could get away with this stuff much easier. Although even you, though, well, again, yours are all original creations, so it's not the same as trying to make somebody look like Barry Windham, and you can't do it with the hair that's in the game. But if you take 2 hairs together, you can kind of make... Hey, here's an idea, 2K. Maybe you add a 2-hair layer system, which has happened in the past. I mean, you want to go back 12 years ago, it was in the game prior to you guys coming in and screwing up everything. So we're 12 years down the road, more technologically advanced, yet getting a lot more inferior product. No, I wish I could, brother. I wish. That would be so much fun to have people calling into the show. Unfortunately, no. I'm trying to think. There was a part of me that was thinking I could even just open up a StreamYard on the side. But then, because my camera's on, it won't allow it. Oh, it might allow it. It might just not do the camera. Let me see something real quick, because now you got me stirred. Wrong button. All right, give me 1 second. I'll be right back.
Together, we can do anything.
We're here to restore justice to the Wrestling Federation that our father built with his own 2 hands. The hands that were passed down to us. The hands that will deliver the Iron Claw to you.
So what do you think? Like we're alive.
I love your family, Kevin.
Gonna be uncle?
Yes, sir.
Oh man, that makes me so happy.
I talk to you about something, Mom. Dad's too tough on us. You gotta say something.
Baby, that's what your brothers are for.
Feel that? You feel that? That's pressure.
You're pushing too hard.
I'm fine, Kev. Seriously, I'm just sick.
I'm scared, man. It all out of control.
Terrible accident.
I should have stopped him. I need to think about my family.
Your job is to wrestle. Live up to that deal, or we are through. I told you to look out for him!
I just love being out there with you guys. It's the only thing that matters to me.
The Bonner will forever be the greatest family in the history of wrestling.
Okay, and we're back. Blaze, I sent you a link. There it is for anybody else. If you want to jump on and say something about this spectacular patch that's come out that has essentially castrated the community of creators out there that make this game cool. Yeah, Jay, you do that a lot as well. And most of what I do is that way, but there are certain times where I needed certain outcomes and things of that nature. So, yeah, I mean, I guess it all just depends. But at the same time, with the exception of Blazed, a lot of us have characters that we are trying to emulate other characters that are real people that we know. Now, if it's a fictitious character, then you can do whatever you want with it, and there's nothing wrong. But if you're trying to make somebody look like Barry Windham, then you kind of need certain things, and sometimes they don't have those things. All right, speaking of people that need things, here he is, the one, the only, J-Rocks. All right, let's see how this works. Can you hear me? Because I can't hear you. Yeah, Jay is there, but it can't be heard. Okay, well, it's also my first time trying to do it this way, so I don't know if that's having an issue or not, but we'll find out. Blaze, jump on if you're there. Testes, testes, 1, 2, 3, testes. As Jay madly goes through. I hear noise.
Can you hear me now?
Ah, I can hear you now. Say something. Say hi, Jay.
Something. Hi, Jay.
There we go. So, how did you like the news?
I'm done. I already put my tweet out. They can go fuck themselves. I'm cool. This. Why you want to tie people's hands that are making your game fucking more marketable and shit when you can't do it yourself? It's fucking ridiculous.
I mean, in all honesty, I don't know that I could have kept a season going with and I guess technically I didn't, because this whole season, the first half was all UPW, so I had to create all those characters and then ran with that for many months. And the good thing about this game and what keeps it fresh is all of a sudden I was like, you know what, I'm going to go back to old school stuff. And by that time, all the creators had done their magic, and I could just bang, 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 download a roster. Then I decided I wanted to get a little ECW going on. So bang, 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 there's some, again, if I had to make it all myself, or if I had to look at a bunch of stuff that really wasn't up to par, then I'm not going to do it.
Right.
I'm waiting to see if Blaze is jumping on or not. Sounded like the man had a bug in his bonnet.
Yeah.
Purist in the house. What's happening, man?
I don't know. I'm tired of companies not realizing that if it wasn't for their consumers, that they wouldn't have a fucking job. They wouldn't have a company, and 2K's right along fucking with them.
100%. Jay Wiley's in the house. My man, how you feeling, buddy? Hope you're better. Judd, hello. Well, unfortunately, Purist, they've already signed an extension, so 2K's not going anywhere. And The WWE doesn't give a shit. They just don't care. They're not into video games. That's not their thing. And it's making money. That's all there is to it. Like I said, the sheeple will continue to go back year after year after year and drop their money down. I've been one of them.
Yeah.
Even when I wasn't happy with it. Even when 20 came out and bombed miserably, and we had to all play 19 for an extra year, which right now, that's not such a bad alternative. And then they took a whole year off because of COVID, which, no, really, it's because your game sucked and you needed it. And that's when they asked us, what do you want in the game? You know, since we're going to take this time, we want to do it right. And they didn't do it right.
Right.
The one thing that, let's see, number one was we want My GM. Number two was Universe. And nowhere on the list was My Faction. We want to buy shit. Not one place on that list was that. And yet that's the one they're force feeding down your throat till it comes out your ass. They just don't care, guys. I mean, if you can't, I've been saying it, but if you can't feel it now, I don't know what else to say. And if you feel like you want to give them your money, that's your right. Do it. I'm just saying they ain't getting mine.
No. I got more shit that I can spend my money on that'll give me more enjoyment than 2K is right now. So
that's what I'm saying. I've been on my other channel, getting back into my old games again and stuff, and it's like there's something relieving about it. It's like I don't have to, force a stream and wonder if the game's going to crash or it's going to rebook my fucking matches. And I don't know. It was taking all the fun out of it.
I know I haven't put out anything since the first 2 episodes, but I had a blast doing it with the Wrestling Empire because I feel like I can actually tell stories and tell storylines and show backstage segments and all that shit we've been asking for them to put back into 2K. I can do with Wrestling Empire.
And that's the point, like you said, to put it back in. This is stuff that was there in the past.
Yeah.
All right, Blaze is on his way. He said 30 seconds, and we got about a 20-second delay, so any moment now.
And I don't know who it is. I'll have to go back and find it. But I retweeted a guy's. He's working on a game himself, and honestly, for being in development, the graphics look great, and the fact that he's got his wrestlers where if you hip toss them over you or suplex them or whatever, he's got them where they'll land on the fucking weapons. It's phenomenal. You'll have to kind of search YouTube to find it, but
if you find that,
I'll have to find.
Yeah, send me the link because we'll definitely work with somebody like that. Speaking of people that we're going to work with, one and the only, he's here in the studio live. It's Blazed.
Hey, you can drop the D. You've known me long enough. Just call me Blaze.
I was going to say Blaze Blaze Radio, but then I got caught in the middle of the thought.
Yeah, I know. Man, I'm still trying to process this right now, to be honest.
Now, how does it affect you, though? Because, again, most of your stuff is all original content, right? So you don't use a two-hair glitch or anything.
Now, from what I heard, I just watched Assemble's video on it. He explained it in depth, that basically anything that you downloaded shouldn't be affected. It's uploads in the future. So all I have is, remember when What's the Status? I think he's the one and a couple other people were doing those, the floor is lava and all these weird, like, it was acid pit around the ring and shit like that.
Yeah, there was there was a dock one or something like that where you were in the ocean or some shit.
I have 4 of those that I downloaded that are modded, and that's what I was looking for. Like, is it going to affect any downloads from mods? And then when I saw What's the Status put up there that he can't even start up his game, I was like, holy shit.
Right.
And that's after uninstalling it.
Yeah. I mean, I did, luckily, yesterday, because I just changed a bunch of people's attires from the Halloween costumes out, so I did back up everything before I started tonight to get this new patch, so I'm safe to go backwards if I need to. However, here's my. I mean, I'm minus 1%, smaller than 1% of what I'm not a kid who plays the game, and I know kids probably play that. I mean, that's probably the one group. I don't know if the people can hear me out there. It was a little bit hard to hear Jay. I don't know if you can boost the volume coming in from StreamYards or not, but it was a little hard to hear Jay, but you could kind of hear him.
How about now that the microphone's closer?
Yeah, I was going to say the levels are peaking.
Yeah, I'm about deep throating my mic too, just so it could come out.
Hoo-ah!
So So here it is. I took me a couple minutes because number one, I was jumping out of the shower, and number two, I wanted to share this out to my community and maybe bring some of them in here to talk about it. So I did blast it all over social media, this link. So if you're joining, please hit the thumbs up, subscribe to Vince. This guy's rocking, even though we disagree a lot.
Not that often.
No, it's okay. But here's my point on it. I want a game that looks like you're watching it on TV. And this 2K visually, I'm not talking about everything else, just visually is the closest thing we have to what you see on TV visually.
Yes.
The detail of the characters and some of the moves. Yeah, I could sit here and complain about glitches and shit like that for days. I can't even get it in my uploader in Community Creations anymore without crashing. So is the game shit for 98% of the people that play it? Yes. I'm right on there with you for people who want to play it. For what I do, from the eFed days back in the day, it's all creations. I don't use any WWE guys.
Right.
Unless someone wants to fight. It's all, I make my own logos, my own arenas, everything. So I want to bring my own universe. Like, I love what Ultra Pro's doing, but it looks like a video game still. It doesn't look realistic. Doesn't mean I'm not going to get it and love the game. It looks phenomenal because the back parts of the game, how they're designing it and how the players work and the ring psychology is going to be so much better. I may be one of the few that do the eFed stuff, but there are hundreds of eFeds out there to do what I do. It's a more of an underground type of community where it's all custom creations. I can name 50 different federations right now, 30 of them that are associated with mine. But it's such a small part of the big community. I've never played my faction. I haven't even entered that mode ever.
I've only been in it by accident because I clicked the wrong button and then backed right out.
But you know me, I'm always trying to polish the turd or look at the other side of the coin.
I hate that about him.
I'm sure there's a million kids out there that love my faction. I'm sure there's little kids out there that are 12 and 13-year-olds that just want to play as John Cena or whatever. And
well, it's clear there's not millions out there because the ratings every time everyone's done a poll, and I mean there are bigger channels that have had thousands of people respond to very similar polls to the one I put up, and it's always 10 to 12% say yes, I play it.
Yeah, and true. And the way it's like I said, I'm still trying to process this really because I look at all the comments that people are saying. They're like, "Oh, RIP Community Creations. It's going away next. It's never coming back." And I started to think while I was in the shower listening to you. I'm thinking about it.
Hey.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make sense of it. WrestleSense every Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern. The WrestleSense channel here on YouTube. Thank you.
Hold on. Hold that thought for just a minute. Hold that thought. Wrestling fans, if you're enjoying the content here on the Nation Network, we encourage you to check out Blazed Radio. Join Blaze for his unique take on eFed wrestling.
Hey, Walker. There's a shotgun stunner, but long through the table at the same time.
From 2K to AEW Fight Forever, as well as talk show podcasts and NFL Red Zone coverage.
I love that I can listen to football commentary where the important conversations happen, like the rack on the ref.
As soon as we're finished here, jump over to Blaze Radio and tell him Vince sent you.
And I said, "Did you see this shit?" He's like, "Yeah, I saw it." I was like, "Oh, we." So I'm thinking to myself, "Well, we're going to talk about this tonight."
Well, I was getting ready to send him the link to
okay.
thing and be like, hey Vince, did you hear this? And I'm like, oh, he's live.
He's live.
Right. See, because I watched the Symbols video. That's when I sent him that. Then I started going on Twitter and I'm seeing like status and stuff saying what about what's going on with it and stuff. I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me? You done fucked this again? I'm cool.
Thank you, Vince.
There's the shameless plug. You're welcome.
I love that, man. I've been wanting to do like a video type of highlight thing. You need to send me that thing so I can have it.
Yeah, you can have it. I'll send it to you.
So here's what I've been brainstorming, trying to make sense of this whole thing. Maybe there's a legal reason they have to do this.
No, they would have said so, and they would have done it a long time ago. Why wait till now? The reason they're waiting till now is because this is moving forward. So 2K24, it won't happen at all. No mods.
All they're doing is blocking mods.
Yep.
It sucks, but it's not going to affect me.
Not you, no, but 80%. It will.
Yeah, I mean,
There's a huge mass of us that, even if I do most of mine is simming, although I play a little bit too, but most of mine is simming, I still want a Barry Windham that looks like Barry Windham. And if it weren't for these guys having this 2-hair glitch that we're looking at right now, he wouldn't look the same.
And not only that, I like having like updated attires and shit like that. And now that's going to...
No, you can still do attires.
But like you said, there is such a great community of modders out there that have done it. Like, I remember when AEW came out and they were like, hey, no mods, and people were bitching about that right off the bat. They're like, fuck this game because he ain't be able to mod it. And I'm like, I like the mods of the games, and I'm trying to make sense of it. They don't want people modding the game and putting things in that could be illegal or could be, I don't know. There has to be a reason why it's just blocking mods.
Well, my guess is it's because it is drawing people away.
Status is giving us stuff that they won't give us.
Right.
That's why they're blocking the mods.
Yeah.
Because we're not going to pay. We're not going to pay for another Batista. We're not going to pay for another Bailey.
Now my point, and you're not going to like this, but yes, I'm getting 2K24 because I'm getting it on the PC this year, and I want to stream my shows through StreamYards, so I can throw up commercials and have my face on there more and do stuff. So I was going to the PC version of it because, once again, no matter how fucked up this game is, for my faction, for mods, for glitches, I have been since 2K15 finding workarounds to make my EFED come alive. And I've met people all over the world through their creations from this game. So am I on with you that the fact that this is bullshit, what they're doing? Yes. For gamers, for modders, for people who play the game, definitely this is horrible news. It's going to scare a lot of people away. But once again, I want the most photorealistic game out there so I can bring what people see on TV to my EFED. But I'm a small percentage.
And that's the thing.
I realize that.
I was going to say, that's the thing with you, Blaze, though. You make your characters, correct?
Yeah, but I upload my custom images, so I do that. And right now, I can't even do that because the uploader's broke. I can't upload it. I have to have someone else upload fucking images.
Yeah, see, this is my point.
Well,
exactly. By the way, Chris W., welcome aboard.
That was the other thing that was something else they blocked. That is, if it's a copyright image, you can get banned for that.
No, I'm talking.
No.
Uploader that I've used for 3 years, I cannot. I can upload 50 images, go into the game, they're not there. It's the same login.
Yeah, he's had this problem now going for a little while. This isn't a new development.
Okay.
But again,
they're
they're
uploads on community creations, it crashes. So everyone has these crash issues, this issues, and that. The game is a wreck. It is. I mean, 2K should be ashamed of themselves.
They're not. They're going all the way to the bank with the money. They're not ashamed.
But
they're promoting 22-year-old content creators over there, saying, "Hey, here's one of our devs." It's like, yeah, well, no wonder the game's crashing all the time. What the fuck does she know about it?
But I have such a loyal following that want what I've done for the past 5 years, 6 years, the same thing next. I have to buy 24. There is not another photorealistic wrestling video game out there that allows me to do custom everything.
Blaze.
So I don't have another choice.
Blaze, would they leave you if you stuck with 23 for another year?
As long as the community creations uploader is still there, I'd keep playing it. I'd go back to 19 right now if I could use 19 and use the uploader.
Yeah.
So,
if I
well,
come up with a new pay-per-view idea, I'm creating a brand new logo and I want to upload it.
So they just sunsetted 22 about a month or so ago, which means it's safe to say 23 will be around for almost another year.
And what I normally do is continue to play the current game while people make their creations for a couple months and stuff before I move over. Plus, that gives me the ability to find out, hey, don't use Hell in a Cell AI versus AI because it's a mess. Don't use
how broke is it?
You know, I find certain things that don't work AI versus AI, and I don't use it. I 100,000 workarounds, and yes, 20 was the worst, but this 23 is right fucking behind it now because there's so many things I cannot do.
Yeah.
To have a good one-on-one match, I have to set the count out at 5 to keep them in the fucking ring. Because if you do no DQ and they go outside of the fucking ring for an hour.
Right.
Tag team matches, I have to do tornado elimination because if I do their regular tag team matches,
God, tell me about it.
Minutes.
The save after save after save.
So the psychology of AI versus AI needs to change. I want That's what I was really hoping. And Ultra Pro could end up being that way. Maybe not the first version of Ultra Pro. Maybe they go next time Ultra Pro comes out, because they have the formula I want, which is custom everything, create whatever the fuck you want, but it still looks like a video game. And I don't want that. Doesn't mean I won't love the game.
Yeah, Core Dream has a comment out there, which is what I was kind of mentioning earlier, in that we've got a number of titles that'll probably be out in the next 12 months, safe to say that. We've got the Wrestling Code, we've got Retro Rumble, we have Ultra Pro, and he's mentioning M. Dickey. There are so many more like this year we were looking forward to AEW because finally we had an alternative, and it's turned out to be an alternative to shit. You can have this shit or this shit. You want dog shit or horse shit, your choice. I'm reminded of the scene from, I think it was the second Young Guns, when they got them all caged up, and the guy comes over to them and says, I got good news and I got bad news. And Doc looks up there and says, well, what's the bad news? Dinner tonight's going to be horse shit. The other guy in the cage says, what's the good news? He says, we got plenty of it.
There hasn't been any good news for this game.
No, there's plenty of horse shit. That's the good news. There's plenty of shit.
Like you said earlier, they're breaking things that weren't broken.
No kidding.
And I'm worried that, we know Status and them's going to be affected, but how many people who create their own characters and stuff are going to go and be like, well, why do I want to create now? They could do shit to me. I'm just afraid that this is going to crumble the community creation stuff to its fucking core.
Yes.
Yeah, and Retro
stop people from uploading things that, I guess they got the copyright catch when they like, if you upload a legitimate copywritten logo or something, it does catch it.
Right.
But this year they didn't catch titties, pussy, ass, all that shit was all over community creation.
Number one. Number two, I have always had no problem uploading any year. Like if you want a Budweiser logo, you can upload that.
Yeah, me too. Nike logos and stuff.
Always.
That's what that's what I thought they would knock off first.
No, I don't believe. Come on, man. These guys can't make a fucking video game that works. You think they're going to have something in there that can determine that's a copyright logo?
Well, it wouldn't be them. It would be the company saying, what the fuck are you doing using my logos?
They're not. Right. They're not. It's the same way that Napster got away with all that file sharing with music for so long. We're not giving them anything. Hey, we just happen to have a server. If they're trading person to person.
There was the Metallicas of the world that were like, hey, fuck you, Napster. You can't have my shit on there. That's what I'm saying. Like maybe if a company came out and said, we're putting a class action lawsuit on you, 2K, because you're not paying Nike, and Nike logos are all over your game now. That's what I would think they would try to stop first before mods, which includes mods, because the modding stuff, they can change. Like you said, a new outfit comes out for Becky Lynch, and they upload it. 2K, fuck, I can't upload. We can't even put that in the game later on, because what's the status? And all these mods are doing it.
Right.
And better.
Way better.
How's that for a kick in the dick?
So I will agree with you on 80% of this stuff, because I know my situation's very unique. I'm realist. But there is a lot of people out there that do what I do,
but they don't do it as good.
Thank you. This is a dark cloud, and I'm afraid that the rain comes after this.
Yeah.
I'm afraid of what comes next, is what I'm saying. If they say, hey, 2K24 is out, we got 200 new characters, but no community creations. That would be bad.
I am more afraid of what doesn't come next. And what doesn't come next, I'm afraid, is people finally standing together saying no more. Because if it's the same old where everyone bitches about it, but then here comes the launch day, and here's my $70, then
I totally agree with you.
Nothing matters then.
I'm the exception to the rule. I have to get this game because my community relies on it.
Or you could keep 23. You know what? You should ask your community. Hey, if we stick with 23, you guys going to be cool with that? See what they say, because I think you may be underselling them.
I have no problem with that, because
I don't think they do either.
Let's look at 19. Let's not even count 20. Let's look at 19's graphics, because I'm talking the visual part of it, not the game psychology or modes or anything, just the visual look of it. From 19 to 22, not a big difference in graphics. A little bit of here and there, and into 23, hardly any difference. So is the graphics really going to get that much better in 24?
No.
Unless they say, hey, 24, we're bringing you, you can mod war games. You can change, you can put a cage top on it and do all kinds. If they add a couple things that I never thought they would bring, that would be a different story. But yes, right now, unless I will keep doing 23.
Yeah, my prediction, here's my bold prediction for 24. They'll come out with 1 or 2 matches that we haven't had in a while, maybe a Buried Alive match.
Well, I heard if Undertaker's the key thing, you're going to get Buried Alive and Inferno and stuff like that. I've already seen that thrown out.
I don't know if they'll do Inferno at this point in time or not, but they might. And the other one is a lot of rumors that there's going to be some sort of special Bray Wyatt pack, which would make sense. So here comes your Pitch Black match.
Yep. Which visually, I mean, it was garbage, but visually it looked kind of cool.
It really did. I mean, the match was 5 minutes long, but you're right. It looked really good.
In hindsight, it's something we've never seen in wrestling. That's why I thought it was kind of cool, but it was garbage in a whole. But it's tough, man. It's tough. I mean, what is going to come out next? I'm hoping, like you said, there is all these options coming out. I can't look too far into the future because, you know, my stuff is 3 times a week. Special referee, as the Cord just put in there too. There's no fucking reason why they can't do that. It's one of the simplest things to add.
And they had it. For fuck's sake, they had it. It's not like, hey, can you try putting this in the game? You had it in the game. You took it out.
Yeah, I don't need create a finisher and create a move and all that stuff. Just give me create a good universe that fucking works. How about that?
Well, they've had a year and they haven't got it down yet.
If you want to take a look at those links, then I send them to you on your Twitter.
The only thing I use Universe mode is it'll line up 9 matches for me so I don't have to set them up. That's the only reason I use Universe mode. And that's pitiful because that mode should be phenomenal. That mode should be, hey, you can make your own show from this, and that's what it's made for, but it doesn't work that way. Like you said, tag finisher. Why can't I put a tag finisher in Universe mode? That seems like one of the easiest fixes that they have to know about. I don't know. I try to think that everything has a reason, but this has really thrown that philosophy out the fucking window.
Well, the thing is, like tag finishers, they worked when it was released, and then as soon as they released the first patch, they were gone, and they haven't fucking worked since. So,
but my question, if I would go into the 2K building with the wrestling people, what I want to see when they develop a game is, do they ever sit down and just sim and let shit play for a while and see how it comes out?
No, they got a 22-year-old girl over there making lattes.
Well, they probably bring in little 12-year-old kids to play it and test it because
but not in this country.
I would like to see out of how many sales 2K23. Let's just use 23 because it's the current version. I want to see an age group of this all the buys. It's hard to tell because you go to Best Buy and buy it. They're not asking you what your fucking age is.
All right.
But if they could find a way, I want to know what percentage are 10 and under, 15 to 10. You know, that makes a difference to me. If I know that, you know, hey, over 50% are 15 and under kids that are just playing it to be John Cena or whatever.
Yeah.
That's why they're putting so much into my faction and the garbage for kids.
All right, well, I'm going to give you something. I'm going to give you something to look at. It might make you feel better. We'll see here. This is what Jay sent me. This guy, I guess, is developing a game. Here, take a look at some footage.
Yep.
See, that's what I think. There's so many people getting angry that we're going to get a good game for creators sooner than later.
Oh, when I saw these clips, I was like, holy shit, that's nice.
Look at it's got a lot of bounce going on, maybe a little too much, but that's something that can be fixed over time. But just the way, it interacts with the physical object. Let's see what this one looks like.
Do you have it up on screen?
Yeah.
Now I see it.
Okay.
I was behind the scenes.
20-second delays, man. Back body drop looks okay. Is this the guy who I saw a post a week ago that had a guy running from one turnbuckle along the top rope to the other turnbuckle and then diving out to the floor? Okay, because I thought he was trying to mod it into 2K23. Now I understand what we're talking about.
No, this is his own game.
That's not bad. Those look a little more...
This doesn't look bad at all. I mean, again, this is early. Pre-alpha. I mean, come on, man.
Like, what I look at is, I look at the size of the head, the shape of the tits, the breasts, the arms. Does it look like I'm watching a TV show? And this one's pretty close for a basic version of it.
Pre-alpha, dude. Give it. I mean, it's going to look a whole lot better. Remember Remember the first commercials for Ultra Pro, man? They look pretty wonky.
Yeah, they had very blocked. Yeah, the titties were all blocked off, no nipples. And
this is right. He took off time, he said, But the one with the ladder was the most recent one he did. After coming back, he had to take some time off for some personal reasons. But he's like now back to designing it and everything. So
Yeah, we're gonna have to get him on the channel and talk a little bit.
Where's the wrestling code at? I haven't heard any updates on that recently either, because that one looked like it had some promise too.
Yeah, I was trying to get Dre to slip up on last time I had him on the show, but yeah, he's good at holding it. I said, so it's coming out in 24, they said, right? And he's like, what? I was hoping I could get him to say, yeah, we're thinking about, oh, shit. But no, he was too good for me. But this looks very good, man. Now, is this Steve Mason? Is he the guy?
Yeah.
This is the guy making the game?
Yep.
All right. Yeah, I'm going to have to hit him up and see if he wants to join us here and talk about this, because that early on footage like that, man, it's very exciting to see someone making a game that looks that good. One of the things UPW just announced recently, one of the things with their game is the lighting control for the arenas, to the point where you can finally get what I've been begging for years. And once or twice somebody's made a modded arena that doesn't look too bad. But back in the late 70s, very early 80s, when you went to Madison Square Garden, the house lights all came down during the match except for the ring area and maybe the first 2 rows. That's all you'd ever see. And then when the crowd would roar, it would be coming from the darkness. It was so ominous. Now everything is all lit up, and you see all the fans all the way into the blood. Well, except for AEW, they only have 5 rows that they can shoot. But other than that,
right.
AEW is starving for right now live attendance. Here's an idea: put on a show that doesn't suck. Oh my goodness gracious! Great balls of fire. Welcome again, Chris W. Glad to have you part of the nation. Yeah, we're all just. I'm just tired, man. I'm worn out. They beat me into the ground with this crap. The idea that you're going to take content creators and squash them down like that, they're not hurting the game. They're probably hurting their bank a little bit. But at the end of the day, so they come up with a new Becky Lynch that features the attire from the last premium live event. We can make our own. All we got to do is get some. We got people like Dre out there that get all these great quality images of wrestling gear. Sends it in.
Unpopular opinion. I'm actually enjoying AEW lately.
Wait, who said that?
You would.
Wait a minute. Who's saying that? You?
Me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, you're that one person watching their show. They said the ratings only had 13 people. You're one of them.
I'm that one guy on the hard cam side with nobody else on that side of them.
Yeah, all by myself.
My take on it is I got tired of the WWE model. Just the
Me too.
Thing that we were stuck with for so long about, hey, here comes someone down the ring. It's going to be a tag match now.
Yeah.
Oh, here comes 2 more. It's a triple.
It's still the same.
They want me to believe that they don't have a whole match card set when Monday Night Raw starts, that they just make 4 matches on the fly. Like, if it happens every
Yeah, but hell, ECW did that too for the long. I mean, that was always their thing too.
It's like, it seems like it's every other show. Like, I still have my favorites over there, AJ and Kevin Owens and a bunch of people, but most of my favorites are now over on AEW. So yeah, there's a bunch of production bullshit and the attendance is down and Tony Khan's the crazy man, but I enjoy the in-ring stuff and some of the comedic stuff and stuff they mix in now. I like the women's division better, so it's a personal preference. It's my style. I was always a WCW guy when everyone was Attitude Era. That was me.
I was both back then because both were watchable. Both were good.
Yeah, TNA when AJ Styles and Samoa Joe and Kurt Angle were there. Yes.
Well, I would say when Kurt Angle got there was about when I started tuning out. I liked it before that.
Yeah. Well, like right when he got there, him, AJ, and Samoa, any combination of the 3 were just. I just love that shit, man. I haven't even got to talk to you about that. What do you think about the TNA brand coming back next year? Good
Personally, I think it's stupid. I mean, all the reasons you got rid of it is the reasons why you should be rid of it.
The only thing the good I take out of it is they need a change. So that's the change they hope will make some difference. Well, and there goes NWA making a change, sign with CW, and then you put a pile of cocaine on your pay-per-view.
I was going to get to that.
Right.
I was planning on doing a wrestle chat when I saw that one alone, and I just
thinking.
Yeah. So
Right.
and here
That's
go.
why they went ahead and signed NXT.
So tying the two of these in together real quick, you have a situation where, I mean, you got Tony Khan, who's like literally just blowing shit up on his stage, but he's got all the money in the world right now. And then you got Smashing Pumpkins, Billy Corgan over here, who's got money, but not Tony Khan money. And he finally gets this outlet where more than 10 people might watch his program. And he goes and does a cocaine scene during his pay-per-view, which is a legitimate pay-per-view. Only 200 people bought it, but it's a pay-per-view. And you're doing coke off the table and commentating on it like it's a fun thing. And what did you think was going to happen? So now the WWE comes in with NXT and says, oh, we'll take CW time. Thank you, done.
Yeah, right.
And
the NWA brand, though, has so much heritage and legacy. I don't want it to get ruined.
It's too late. He took care of that.
I mean, there's so much heritage and tradition with that name alone. Like, Tony Khan, just buy it.
And not for anything. I mean, when you talk about the heritage of the NWA, what names come to mind right away?
Flair, Dusty. I'm talking old.
Yeah,
NWA
Flair, Dusty. Keep going. Who else? Flair, Dusty.
Go on for days. That's when I fell in love with wrestling.
Road Warriors.
Yeah.
My
favorite tag team of all time.
Right.
Hawkins, my favorite wrestler of all time.
There you go. So out of all those names we just mentioned, how many of them weren't doing coke?
They were all doing it.
There you go. So the only difference is Billy Corgan did it on camera.
Listen, I've talked to some of my indie friends and stuff. Cocaine's been a part of pro wrestling for decades and decades, but they don't go on TV and talk about it.
No, they just come to you and say, hey, I need this so we can do your show.
Like, you go back now in hindsight and, like, watch a Hogan promo or an Ultimate Warrior and be like, how can you not think they're high on coke?
No kidding, right?
But it's so sad to see that. I mean, actually, hey, I'll tell you what. I watched that last Impact pay-per-view. I was impressed. I really liked it.
Which one are you looking at? The
last one where
Bound for
they
Glory?
announced the TNA thing at the end. Yeah, I really liked what they did.
It was a good show. I hated the ring.
Yeah.
The ring looked terrible. I was like, what the fuck? It's your biggest show of the year, and it looks like a marketing campaign.
Well, hey, get ready for it, because I did read that Triple H is not one of Vince's big pet peeves. I don't know if you heard this. Vince's big pet peeve was no marketing around the ring, on the ring. But
that's changing. Yeah.
Get ready for it.
Yeah, that's really
you can see
changed.
brand all over the place now, which if it's done in the right way, I don't mind it, because that's more, not that they need more money, but that's a way to bring in more revenue and advertise without fucking 8,000 pictures every fucking show and shit. I don't. It's very strange. The world of I still say it's a great time to be a wrestling fan because there's so many options and stuff, but I'm trying to find the match card from that.
Here's Impact's problem, though, going back to the NWA and the CW. Impact would have probably loved to get CW. Only problem is they are owned by the folks that own Axis. Yeah. So they're married to that network that only a small portion of America can even get.
If they, I know to the general public, Will Ospreay may not be the biggest name, but if they land him, I think that's big, because I love that dude. I want him to get more. Like, his match with Mike Bailey, phenomenal.
It was a very good match, but
phenomenal. It
goes back to the point, though, is how do they get more eyes on a product that's on a network that a lot of eyes can't access?
Yeah, that is the biggest problem. They need to jump on.
But they can't. They're owned by that company, the same company. I mean, it's a death knell in a certain kind of way. I mean, I get it. They needed them at the time. And who's to say they'd still be surviving if they hadn't taken that deal?
But I see a lot of people, and I understand why people think the TNA thing could be a step back, going back to something that failed before. But as long as they don't bring in Hogan, I think that, and what's her name?
Dixie Carter, yeah.
Dixie Carter and Hogan, I mean, the footprint could be there for them to have some kind of rejuvenation, and I'm hoping for it. I'm they got a lot of great talent on that roster. You know that.
I know, and I was going to say they were rejuvenated. They've kind of faltered a little bit over the last 8 months, and I'm still just not at all a fan of Trinity because, in my opinion, all she did was took her WWE gimmick and brought it over there. It's like everyone else that has gone there from other companies reinvents themselves, and that's what I loved about that.
Right.
She hasn't made any damn attempt to reinvent herself whatsoever. She just changed different colors of over-the-top hair colors and stuff like that. AM, welcome aboard.
To me, she was exposed when she went over there.
Yes.
You could see that she was just she's a beautiful, physically gifted person.
Sure, she's an athlete.
They put into that WWE mold where all she has to do is dance around, do a couple moves, and that's a WWE superstar. When she goes over there, now you got to put up with some legit, really good wrestling, and she can't keep up. She can't keep up, in my opinion.
Yeah, I totally agree.
She sticks out like a sore thumb.
Yes.
And those bangs are horrible. She looks like a dude.
Thank you. I mean, well, they're wigs, I'm sure, but
Yeah.
nonetheless.
But her old look was phenomenal. But yeah, you're right. You're right. She just did not change at all. But I'm hoping. I mean, people like Josh Alexander and some of the people they still have over
Yeah, he's
there,
legit.
Yeah.
You know, they have good announcers. They have,
Yep. It's a fun organization. It really is. And they did something. What the hell they did that stupid thing with Tommy Dreamer, literally stabbing him in the back with a fork, which I was so pissed about that.
But I mean, we talked about it in NWA Power when it first came back a couple years ago. It was fun to watch. It was old school. It was good. So we had a little bit of resurgence of NWA.
Yeah.
Then until the last 8 months, like you said, Impact was looking, so we have these they're jumps in these other companies trying to get up there, but what is missing? What's going to get them up? I mean, AEW's not going anywhere. For everyone that hates it, there's so much money involved behind it. They're not going anywhere for a long time. Something really bad would have to happen for them to go anywhere. And I just think the more not really competition, but the more options you have, the better it is for pro wrestling.
And I don't want them to fail. That's not like, I know I talk shit about them. I want them to do well. The problem is they don't seem to have that same shared vision because Tony, by this point in time, I would think someone would have got a hold of him and said, hey, you know what? Maybe you shouldn't be doing the book. Let's get a wrestling guy that really knows, not just a super fan with money.
Yeah, I was hoping for that too. I mean, eventually, and I agree 100% with you on that. As much as I like the product and I'll put up with some of that stuff, it times to change. I mean, you got really. I mean, they had the perfect person, and they gave him back to WWE. Regal.
Yeah.
Regal's a great guy. Bryan Danielson. I mean, he hangs it up. Who's to say they don't give him some of the book or something?
Well, he already has some.
Around. Yeah.
Now,
so, I mean,
now you just brought up a good point though about Regal, for example. How many legit names, guys that know the business, that had WWE backgrounds, that were in AEW, how many of them get there and, like, within months, I want to get the fuck out of here? Regal wanted out.
Yeah.
He wanted out quickly.
I don't want alternatives to go away. I don't think they are, but I don't want them to become smaller than they are now. No one's going to get anywhere close to WWE. I'm a realist. They never. That'll always be big number one. But I want 2, 3, 4, and 5 to be somewhat close together.
Yeah.
So we have more options. And for more than anything, so the workers and the talent out there have somewhere to go. Because there's so much great talent in the indies right now.
Sure.
There's guys like Hammerstone. If he ever goes somewhere, there's people all over. A couple in GCW, couple in AAA, couple in MLW here and there. Like, there's so many great, I can spit about the local Pittsburgh scene right now because, the guys on my podcast are in it. And there's a lot of enormous talent around here. But that's why, like, Dark and Dark Elevation was such a good thing for those people, because I don't know how many people told me when I did that announcing last year a couple times that they were telling me, man, I'm going to be on Dark. I was on Dark last year. And I'm like, oh, cool. That's a little bit – you never know when a new star is going to come out of that. So I don't want these quote-unquote smaller federations to go away. I want them to thrive, but no one's going to compete with WWE. I'm a realist. No one's going to compete with them ever.
And they don't necessarily need to. I mean, and I wouldn't say they can't either. I mean, Tony's got the money. He's got the production ability. Why he's spending money on arenas he can't even fill halfway, I have no idea. That's stupid business right there. I mean, it's all about.
I do agree.
It's all ego. It's all ego.
Smaller venues here and there would look better on TV. Like, they're not going to show you that side, and and I get it. The attendance is down. I can't deny that. You can't deny that. But I still look at the in-ring product, and some of it's hokey, some of it's dumb. Of course, I'm not going to say it's all perfect. None of it's perfect. But I enjoy that style a little better. Because not just flippy shit and that, but I want a little bit of flippy shit. I want a little bit of blood. I want a little bit of wrestling technician. I want a little bit of women. I want a little bit of comedy.
Where have I seen that before? Oh, yeah, ECW.
Yeah. Yeah, I want a little bit of everything, but the formula right now is a little mixed up in AEW. I'll be honest. I still enjoy
it's a hot mess.
But what here's what I always wanted. A happening. And WWE's done it the last couple weeks. You had 2 heel turns last week on SmackDown, but something to talk about at the lunchroom table in school on Tuesday. You know what I'm saying?
Now back
in the day, it was always a happening. Something happened over the weekend that you talk about.
Back to your point.
Did you see that?
It doesn't always have to be build for the pay-per-view. Build for the pay-per-view.
No.
All right, now Blaze, hold on. Back to your point. WWE, same model, blah, blah, blah. And then what happens? Did anyone not know Drew was going to turn heel? Of course. No, I mean, we all saw it coming a mile away.
If you're on the internet, if you're in the know at all.
Or if you watch the last 2 weeks of episodes.
Super anticlimactic.
Exactly, and that's my point.
And is it going to be surprising when Orton's on the other side?
Nope.
No. If it's somebody else than Orton, I'd be surprised. But right now, it pretty much seems like it's going to be Orton.
Punk.
Don't even get me started on that.
No, I don't think so. I hope not. I really do.
That's the other talk he signs with Impact, and that helps them get. I mean, that will get more eyes on the product, but that doesn't fix Impact.
Infrared brings up a good point. All the favorites of yours that come over from WWE, including Ric Flair at 80-something years old. By the way, Infrared, Impact is coming back here to Central Florida in middle of January, so if you're going to be back for that show, let me know. We'll get together early.
But I do have another stream here in a couple minutes I got to get on to. I have a podcast with a couple friends I got to jump on. But I'm
Look at you with your podcast and jumping.
I know you're not a big pro sports fan, but we talk NBA every Wednesday on my channel, and I'm part of the Hardcore Sports Network, so we're going to talk a little NBA here for an hour here, and I'm a Sixer fan, so we're going to talk a little NBA. So I gotta take off to that podcast. They're starting right now at 6:20. So.
Well, I'll tell you this: I could probably watch a sportscast with you if you're going to talk about the rack on the ref.
There you go. All right, fair enough. Thanks for having me on, man. I appreciate it.
Thanks for being here, man. Everybody, give it up.
Subscribe.
Go check out Blaze Radio.
Absolutely.
He does some good stuff there. He's got a lot of different interests, and he manages to keep them all going. Hunter Iggy, hello there.
Yeah, I've actually watched his gardening ones. They're actually pretty entertaining. So.
I forgot. That's right. He's got gardening too, man. Talking about you got the home network there. You got the wrestling network there. You got NBA, NFL. Good Lord Almighty. Hoopa, slow ahead if you please. Oh my goodness. All right, Infrared. We're gonna get together beforehand, get a beer. As I'm watching Impact nowadays, I'm thinking to myself, okay, who am I going to be looking forward to, meeting over there now? And will I still even be working there, to be honest with you? Because I'm about done with that whole thing. I'm trying to squeeze in my vacation time between now and the end of the year, and I've really only got 3 weeks left to do it in. So I'm at the end of a 4-day weekend right now, and I'll be taking 4-day weekends. Nice. Yeah, I'm going to be doing 4-day week. I wasn't going to take a week at once. Fuck that shit. I'm going to split that shit up, man. I'm going to take a bunch of mini vacations for the next 3 weeks. Y'all kiss my ass. But, yeah, I just don't know, man. I would love to be gone by January because then I don't have to deal with the biggest fucking show of the year that we deal with, which is 300 friggin' acres of cars. But, yeah, I'd love to not be there for that, but I don't know if it's not up to me entirely. That's the problem here. So me and my better half both work there, and if I leave, that puts her job in jeopardy. So I keep hoping she's got a part-time gig right now just for the holidays to bring in some extra money. And
that's good.
The lady that hired her was very impressed. She had a lie on her resume, basically dumbed the shit out of it because nobody was hiring her. And then she gets this job, and then she's talking to the lady. And she's like, wait a minute, that's not on your resume. That's not on your resume. She's like, I know, because you wouldn't have called me, would you? So she's like, well, I got to get you on my management team. Well, if she does, I'm the biggest cheerleader she's got because you get that job, I get out of mine. That's a win-win.
That's right.
And right now I've got a car that doesn't go in reverse. Not going to ask me why it doesn't go in reverse.
Why don't it go in reverse?
Oh, well, shit, since you asked. So I have a stick shift, right? That's all I've ever owned manual, right? And
right.
I go, the knob, it's a Chevy Cruze, 2014 Chevy Cruze. That's right, I style. And the knob just wore out over time, and it's made really shitty.
Hate it when that happens.
Yeah, it's all like peeling. You can see the inside of it. It's that fake leathery shit. Anyway.
You're gripping it too tight.
No, we're talking about the gear shift knob.
Oh, okay. All right.
I'm pretty gentle with that. Anyway. So I go to take it off. Now, anyone who's ever, even if you're not a mechanic, if you've ever had a manual or if you've known anyone that's had a manual, how do you remove the gear shift knob? Jay?
You twist it off.
You screw it off like a bottle cap. Nah, we did that in the 2K. In the 2K. Might as well be 2K. We did that with our 13 and our 12 and our 11, our 10. But the 14... No, not so much. With this sumbitch, you're going to have to pry that fucker off. And when you finally get it to come off, you'll notice that the steel rod that it was on at the end has like an abrasive coating to it for traction, so to speak. So that when you so that when you take the new knob and you place it down and you try to force that fucker on, because trust me when I tell you it ain't going without a fight, and you try and force that thing on, it'll stay stuck. I'm sure a screw thread would have been a lot easier solution. Well, we get the knob off, which, like I said, that took some doing, and got the new one, and the bitch wouldn't go on. Now, I'd seen YouTube videos saying that you might have to heat it up. And I'm at my uncle's. He's a mechanic. He's got all the toys. Gets his hot gun out there and starts, blasting that thing up, and it's heated up to as much, there's smoke coming off the fucker. It's hot. Get it on there, finally get it on the net, using a rubber mallet, no less, to bang that son of a bitch down, but it's not going all the way down. Now, inside the shaft, where the shaft is going to go, it tapers down almost to like a cone head on the inside. It comes down to a narrow tip, which makes no sense because the steel shaft is just a regular circle all the way.
Right.
So now I'm like, okay, well, we're going to have to drill it out a little bit. So anyway, we do this, we do that. Finally get it to sit on there, but now it's too loose and won't stay on no matter what. So he tells me, listen, there's this product called JB Weld, which I had not really used.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
I've used that many a time.
Many a time.
Yep.
Well, I've only used it I take it twice with this one particular run. My armrest on my chair here started cracking right there where that foam rubber is. So I sealed that up, and that seems to be doing pretty good for itself. But then I went, and he told me, just shoot some of that stuff in that cylinder and stick it on top of the, and I'm doing this on the camera, so it looks really good. But anyway, you stick stick that down on top of the pole and bang it down and let it sit overnight, which I did. But I'm thinking to myself, he told me, make sure you get the plastic version, which I got the plastic version. And I'm thinking, okay, the knob is plastic, but the post is steel. How are these two elements going to bond? It's not going to work. And I was right. Go out there this morning, I think it was. Go out there and boop, knob comes right off pretty much. I was like, well, son of a bitch. And then I go to put it back on. I had ordered another knob, by the way, just because I didn't think it was going to work. And that came today. But here's the problem now. With this particular car, to go into reverse, there's this little thing right below the gear handle that you pull up on so that you can move it into the reverse gear. Like a safety feature. Yeah, you've never seen those little sporty kind of things where you got to pull up on that little plunger?
No, I'm used to her shifters where I just slang them and bang them and go.
Yeah, well, you slang and bang all the other ones, 1 through 6. But for reverse, you got this little gadget that you pull up on with your two front fingers while you're holding the knob. So it's right below the knob. and you pull up on this little plunger, and that releases it so that it can move into reverse, which was upper left. Okay? Well, because the chemical went down the metal shaft without sealing anything, because it doesn't seal metal, it got down to this plunger, which, guess what it's made of?
Plastic.
Oh, I was worried about you for a minute there. You're right. Plastic. So I can no longer pull the fucking plunger up. It is stuck. And I mean, I have been out there for hours banging away on this thing, chiseling away on this thing. I mean, the only solution that I have at this point in time is to replace the entire gear housing mechanism, which means grinding it off.
Right.
This is going to be, it's a $9 fucking knob that's going to cost me probably $200 before it's all said and done.
If you're lucky.
Well, all the other gears are working. So it didn't do any damage to anything other than plastic.
That's good.
But it's like, you've got to be kidding me. And the hits just keep on coming.
Right.
So that's that's been my day in a nutshell. I know, I feel the same way. All right, well, I think we covered all the topics. I mean, this ended up being more of a wrestle chat, I guess, at the end of the day, but that's all good. It was fun having an OBS stream. I try this more often because with OBS I can bring stuff on that I can't do with StreamYard. StreamYard likes to filter everything out, fuckers.
And still have our voices, huh?
Yeah, we can do voice. We just can't be on screen. That's the only drawback to it.
I was going to say, who needs to see our faces?
Yeah, maybe ratings will go up. I'll take mine off too. Whatever.
There you go.
Oh, Lord. All right, everybody. Well, that's where we're at the moment. 2K does it again. Sticks it to the man. Don't have no fun with this game unless you pay for it. I'm so tired, man. So tired of them.
I know.
Looking forward to having alternatives. Like I said, Sam and I are going to get together potentially on Monday. I think I'll just pre-record this one since we don't have a set time and I don't want to jump through, reschedulings and stuff like that with the channel. We'll probably just pre-record it. I'll edit it up, make it look pretty, and then get it out to you guys Tuesday or Wednesday of next week if all goes according to plan. And I've got some stuff in mind. If you have any questions for UPW and want to know what's going on, put them in the comments down below here. I'll add them to my list. But I'm looking forward to, like I said, it's time for some competition in the game and marketplace. And I think 2K is going to see a big fall. Here's the kick. I keep saying hundreds of thousands of people have to not buy into 2K24. That'll happen a lot better if you have UPW with a release date, if you have Code with a release date, and any of these other games with a release date where people are like, well, I can wait an extra 2 months and get another game instead, and at the same time, basically, because the economy sucks right now, and it's not getting any better anytime soon. So people aren't dropping $70 or even $40 or $50 3 times. They're not going to do it. A couple people might, but most won't. So
I'm not.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So consumers are going to start watching, and when they realize, it was an easy bet to say I'm going to buy 2K20, 24, 23, whichever one, because there's nothing else out there to get for wrestling. What choice did you have? Ultra, with that retro thing, that was a joke.
Right.
So when you have a captive audience, then you can do these things. You can come up with this My Faction that nobody's buying and keep pushing it.
Right.
But once these games come out, and God almighty, I hope they turn out to be good. I really feel that Wrestling Code's going to be a phenomenal game. I do believe UPW is going to be a phenomenal game. And as long as those two are, and it's not, here's the kick in the dick. They're not annual releases. We're just going to keep updating it.
Nope.
So it's a one-time investment. They've got everything going in their favor right now. And this, today, 1.21, boy, I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
Strike while the iron's hot, because they just made this a great marketing opportunity for all their stuff to say, hey, we're fan-friendly. We're going to allow you guys to do this, that, and the other thing.
Right.
We're not here to stifle the fun. We want you to have fun. Wow, well, there's a marketing ploy. All right. We're going to wrap this thing up, I think. Thanks for jumping on board. Thank you for everybody in the chat. Thanks for the new subs out there. We appreciate you guys very much. Chris
Absolutely.
and AM, welcome aboard. And we'll be back doing something wrestling-oriented in the not-too-distant future right here. In the meantime, say goodbye, Jay.
Goodbye, Jay.
Goodbye, everybody. We'll see you again ringside here on the Nation Network.